the show's over, and it was kind of sad. I did 12 years on the show, 2 years here in Chicago, and then they moved out to Stamford, Connecticut. I believe they moved out there for tax purposes.
Okay.
They moved, it's just Chicago just kills everybody with the taxes and stuff.
Yeah, Illinois is terrible with
Yeah.
taxes.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they just wanted a tax break, and they wouldn't do it. So they said they wouldn't give Jerry Springer a tax break because he was an unscripted show, and there was another unscripted show at the same time. And if they gave him a break, they'd have to give the other show a break, and that show brought in millions and millions of dollars. And that was the Oprah Winfrey show.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't want to give him a break. They ended up, I don't know exactly how it happened, but they ended up going to Stamford, Connecticut, and they brought Maury from New York and Wilkos from Chicago, and they put them all in one studio.
Oh, wow.
But then Chicago really shot themselves in the foot because a year later, Oprah left.
Yep.
So, they don't have anything. They have Steve Harvey. I think Steve Harvey.
No, he's in L.A. now.
Well, he's in L.A.
Yeah.
I just met Steve Harvey, as a matter of fact. Being on the Jerry Springer show, super fortunate. Got to do some of the coolest things, in my life because of the Jerry Springer show.
Nice.
I was on Monday Night Raw twice.
Okay.
That was pretty cool. He was the guest host, and I got to go on there with him. That was like, oh man, that was like a childhood dream. That was incredible. And then just recently, we were on the Family Feud, and that was unbelievable. That's one of my favorite shows. I watch the show all the time. And that actually is going to air pretty soon. I think they say summer, so I'm guessing first couple weeks of June.
All right, excellent.
So the show has been great to me. He's incredible. He's a great guy. So he's been great to me. And it's great to be working with him again. But the show itself is done. Who recognizes me? I did the show for 12 years, and not too many people recognize me. But for some reason, cab drivers. I don't know if that's when they're not working and they're just sitting at home watching the show. But I'd say every couple weeks I get a cab driver or two, asking me if I'm the guy from Jerry Springer.
Oh, that's funny.
So pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, good stuff.
So you knew Steve then too from the show.
Yeah, he's incredible. I worked on his show for the first 2 years when I was here in Chicago, and then I would work on his show once in a while over the last few years when I could. But crazy schedule I have now. We just opened up the gym, Gregory Boxing, here in Des Plaines. We opened that up just about a year and a half ago. So my schedule is insane right now, especially having 2 little kids and trying to spend time with them.
Oh yeah,
full-time
definitely.
Chicago police officer. Just today, I just flew in today. I landed at 7, and I came here, hang out with you. But normally, I'm on vacation from work right now. But normally, I would go right to work and work 9 to 5, 9 at night till 5 in the morning. I've been doing that shit for almost 21 years.
Wow.
And people think that's crazy, but I love those hours.
Yeah.
It works for me. Then I go home and sleep, wake up, and then come to the gym for a good portion of the day, and then go right back to work. So busy. So then traveling, it's a busy schedule.
Well, we appreciate what you do for protecting the streets of Chicago. So it's not an easy job to do nowadays. So I'm grateful for you being out there.
21 years, and this is definitely it's definitely getting harder and harder.
Right.
To do our job without getting into that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just lots of politics, lots of we're basically handcuffed out there. We can't really we can't do our job, and then it's like, do you really want to do your job? And you have to do the bare minimum, but it's like, and are you really want to go out there and be aggressive? It seems like you get in trouble every time you do something, but it's a job. I from the beginning of my career, people have told you, don't make it your whole life. Don't go home with the job. Don't.
Right.
And if you did, you drive yourself nuts, especially nowadays. So it's
well,
a job, and that's it.
I think you listen to them. I mean, you're obviously not going home with the job. You've got a lot of stuff going on in your life. I noticed on IMDb where you can be found that you're on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
So
That's I always thought to myself, just always be nice to people, until they give you a reason not to be nice to people. So some guy came out. I was wearing my uniform. I was working the police, and he just started a conversation with me. Super nice guy, and ends up he was a big director in Hollywood, and asked me if I wanted to be in a movie. Hey, I think you're a nice guy. Thanks for your service. You interested? You ever do any acting or anything? I said no, but he said you don't really need to act. You're gonna play a jail guard. I thought that was really cool. And, it was funny, that he asked me to do it, but that's be nice to everybody. You never know who you're going to meet, and that's a perfect example.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, what year was that show out?
2010. They did.
Really?
They did a remake. I tell my wife the one thing myself and Johnny Depp have in common is that we made our big screen debut in Nightmare on Elm Street, and she just says I'm an idiot. That's what I have in common with Johnny Depp.
Right, well, you never know. I mean, he might be on something else. I have a good friend of mine. His son is on Chicago Fire.
Okay.
And he originally was on. He's a squad. He's on squad 2 or 3 in Chicago, and he's been on that for a number of years. And our friend said, "Why don't you go audition?" And he said, "No, I don't want to do it." And, I'm not. He really wasn't for it. He said, "All right, fine." So he went and auditioned, and lucky enough to get the opportunity to work on the show Chicago Fire. So he's known as Tony.
Those shows are doing all those shows are doing pretty good too.
Yeah,
the Chicago PD and Chicago Fire. And I think there's another one, Medic.
Yeah, Chicago MD or Med Chicago Med.
Right. Yeah, and then is there a law now too? There
was a couple of seasons ago. I don't think NBC renewed it.
Oh, okay.
So, but very good writing. It's nice that we got other shows in Chicago. So they're starting to bring in other movies now. It helps, I guess, having a mayor that has a brother that's an agent in Hollywood. So that probably helped out bring.
I think it did, and then I don't think it lasted long. I don't know what he did. He was doing something crazy with the taxes or something because Batman was here, Transformers.
Yeah.
It was big. They shot The Dilemma here with Vince Vaughn, Kevin James, Winona Ryder. That turned out great. But I don't see too many movies here. They have a couple shows here now, all those Chicago shows, and they got Empire.
Yes,
we all know about that, right? With the guy Smollett.
Yeah. What about comedies? Has there been any comedies in Chicago? I can't think of any.
As far as shows, I don't know nothing as far as shows, and then I don't know about. I don't think there's been a movie here in a while, and again, I think it all goes back to tax and stuff like that. But
probably.
I'm not really sure. Somebody had told me it's cheaper to just go to Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
Than do it here in Chicago. So
a lot of the shows are shot in Canada. I know they do a lot of shows in Georgia, near Atlanta. Different areas over there. Walking Dead, various movies.
Yeah, you get into that, The Walking Dead.
A little bit, a couple seasons. It was kind of the same thing. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. You think it's going to be really good, and it kind of dies out at the end.
Never really got into that.
Yeah, it's not bad. Some of the people on the show, you cheer for the actors because they're actually really good actors. So, you hope the show lasts for a while.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it gets cut, and, other times it doesn't. But it's interesting, talking about new shows coming out. Johnny Wick is coming. Johnny Wick 3 gets released, I think, at midnight tonight. And Keanu Reeves, I know he's not as popular, but I think he's a pretty decent actor. He's actually really fan-friendly. I remember when I was in L.A. about 2 years ago, we passed by his house on one of those tours. And he actually came out, opened his door. You can look in and see his motorcycle there. It was really cool. Yeah. It was a really cool house. And he actually came out and waved. So, he's No, not at all. Usually they're kind of hidden. We had, what's the guy from Hustler? What's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
Tom Cruise?
No, the porn guy from Hustler. What is it? No, not Hugh. He's Playboy. The other guy.
Oh, I know you're talking about. The guy Woody Harrelson played this?
Oh, yes. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. But he was following his Bentley was right behind us at one point, going down the hill, and we were in the birds because it's a nice area there. It's kind of hidden, isolated in LA. We call it the birds because a lot of the streets are named, different birds, and it's really. I actually like that area. If I was going to live in LA, that would be one of the areas I'd live in. But it was neat. You never knew who you were going to see, and it's kind of cool. But anyways, getting back to Keanu, I heard he's pretty nice. He did shoot a movie up in Lake Geneva. They have a telescope out there. A number of years ago, it's probably like 15 years ago, he shot a movie there. So he's been there, and I think a couple other ones in Chicago. But getting back to that, I'm sure you run into people all the time on the streets in Chicago.
One of the guys a couple guys, I work right out on Rush Street, which is a pretty popular area in Chicago. I'm fortunate enough to be working out there, but met a lot of people. One of the coolest guys I met. I'm a big Seinfeld fan.
Oh yeah,
and
who is it?
Yeah, and my partner at the time, he sees a guy walking down the street, and he's trying to get my attention. He's following the guy behind him, and he's pointing to him, and he's saying, saying, Jace, step off. I don't know what he's talking about, but the guy in front of him was Dan Cortez.
No.
And he was, he was, you're a Seinfeld guy, so you know he was on Seinfeld, and that was one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah.
He was male bimbo.
So
he was a great character.
Oh,
he was awesome. He knew we were onto him, and he walks right past me. He's like, "Step off, man, step off!" And we just started dying laughing, and we just thought it was great. So lots of. I've met Johnny Depp before.
Oh yeah.
He was a really nice guy.
Okay.
Not too many stories of I don't really have any stories of guys that weren't nice or weren't friendly to the police or whatever. So lots of good stories. Definitely a good place to work for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sure. Yeah, the one guy I would love to meet someday is Larry David. So
yeah,
he's pretty funny. I loved his shows on HBO that he used to do, and then just brought back I think about a year ago. That was pretty good.
I just saw Jeff Garland.
Oh yeah.
A couple weeks ago. I met him before, but he lives down there.
Okay.
Not full time. So busy.
Right.
In LA, but super nice guy. Goes out of his way to say hi to you. Talk to you for like 15, 20 minutes. Real good guy. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Very interesting. Are you a Curb Your Enthusiasm guy?
I am.
Yeah.
That was a great comedy.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that. I don't know if it's coming back for another season because it's been out for so long, and then he took a hiatus and decided to come back.
Well, what did he do that for? He thought it was over, and then
I don't know.
Got bored. Or what did he do?
I mean, it was back in 2000 that they released Curb Your Enthusiasm, and then I think they did 4 or 5 seasons, and then that was it for until 2018 or 19.
Did they? I think didn't they do something because they were upset with the way Seinfeld ended? So they did. They did like remember they brought Jerry and them back to do like a reunion for Seinfeld on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I don't remember that.
And they brought him back in one of the seasons, maybe the last season.
Okay.
And I think it was because Larry David was always upset that they didn't really like the finale,
right?
Or didn't get good ratings.
Well, that was the thing,
or whatever.
Yeah, but I think it's just with the finales in general. What show has ever had a good finale? It's usually the episode before the finale. That's actually the really good show.
MASH is the famous one, right?
That was
famous, like a famous ending or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a couple.
But Cheers, I don't know that Cheers had a great ending.
I don't remember, but man, what a great show that is.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a good one. So
yeah, I don't know.
It's hard. I know. We'll post it out there and let the audience decide what they think was a good ending on that. I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones at all.
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm into that. I actually started watching. I watched every episode like 2 years